Hey, thanks for tuning in. This is a presentation I did at DynamicsCon 2026 in Las Vegas titled See It Live, AI-powered contact center experiences for agents and supervisors. Let's check it out and dive in. Over this course of the presentation, you're going to see a demo of Dynamics 365 Customer Service and Contact Center. You'll learn why Microsoft for AI-led service transformation. We'll talk a little bit about the differences between customer service versus the contact center solutions and which one you need, as well as we'll go through some of the core setup and features. Let's jump in and see it in action. No better way to see an AI-led customer service solution than in the spirit of Dunder Mifflin. So over the course of this video, you'll see how Dunder Mifflin would deploy Dynamics 365 customer service and contact center. So the first channel we're going to look at is the web chat. So once you set it up, you get a little bit of JavaScript that you input on your website or inside of your mobile app, and that brings this little floating widget, Let's Chat, available on your website. So we're on the Dunder Mifflin webpage. We'll go ahead and click Let's Chat. You can go right to a live agent, or you can provide self-service via a Copilot Studio agent. So here's Pam, the paper automation manager, asking, how can I assist? I'll say, I'm upset. I'm trying to print my quarterly reports and the paper is jamming. Pam acknowledges the request and starts troubleshooting. Is the paper jammed in the fuser or the tray? I'll go ahead and hit tray. It has access to the CRM and ERP data, so it notices the product on the last order and asks if I want a refund. I say yes. It's processed that refund, and it's created a new rush sales order for the 20-pound Scranton white paper. Now, so you can do self-service via Copilot, or you can escalate to a live agent. So now I'm going to put my customer service rep hat on. We've gotten in a live chat into my product support queue from Christian. I'll go ahead and I'll accept this chat, and now we kind of get this screen pop functionality. So now I can see all the conversation details on the left, the contact information, and the case management agent is using AI and Copilot to automatically create a case. So it's automatically created a case for the agent based on the chat conversation. It filled in the title, the subject, the product, the description, all without the customer service rep having to key in any information, saving valuable time. Now, if we go back and look at the conversation on the left, and we can also get a case summary. So as more details, activities gets added to the case, that summary will regenerate. Now I can read the entire conversation, or I can use Copilot to summarize it. So here Copilot's summarizing the key details, the issue, the product, what troubleshooting steps, what's the current outcome. And this can get regenerated as I move through this conversation with Christian. So as the customer service rep, I can say, hi there. I see that you're having a printer jamming issue. Is this correct? So that was the customer service rep. Now I'm switching over to Christian, the customer, and I'll say, yes, it is. So going back and forth, you have that chat experience. Notice how the sentiment is slightly negative, right? The customer said they were upset. Now the intent agent has just launched, and so I can see Copilot has identified the intent, mapped the conversation to our intent in our library, and begins troubleshooting the issue with the agent. So the agent doesn't have to copy and paste anything. They don't have to search the knowledge base. The intent agent is surfacing the next best question to the agent. So can you confirm what type of paper you've loaded in? The customer's saying it's the Infinity paper. And you'll notice that the intent agent captures the information as the troubleshooting happens. Now, the next questions it's suggesting is, has the paper been stored near a window or a high humidity area? And the agent just has to hit tab. They don't have to type in that suggested question or troubleshooting. They can just hit tab to auto send that message. The customer lets us know that the new intern did indeed put the paper in front of a window.
Now, this is all the information the intent agent needs to now suggest a response. So it's taken all that troubleshooting steps, looked at the knowledge base, and it now recommends to open the front cover of the paper, remove the paper, check for any plastic guides, and replace it with a fresh ream inside. So all of that was powered by the intent agent. The customer says, nope, I was able to fix it. And we now see that the sentiment of this conversation is from negative to positive. So this is an awesome chat. We were able to resolve the customer's issue, and they're leaving happy. And again, the intent agent finalizes it by suggesting, I say, I'm glad to hear your printer's working again. Thanks for being a valued customer. Is there anything else I can help with today? Now, the customer could end the conversation. Here, the agent ends the conversation, and now they're in their wrap-up. So they've got the latest Copilot conversation that has the new troubleshooting steps in the resolution. They can copy those, add them as a note in CRM, update the description, wrap up their wrap-up steps in time, and resolve this case. So that was inbound chat. Again, you could put this on your website, on your mobile app. The next we're going to see is an inbound voice call. So similarly, when the customer escalates to a live agent, instead of a chat request, the customer gets a phone, or the customer service reps gets a phone voice call request that they can accept. So I'll go ahead and play a sample inbound call. You'll hear Christian call into the Dunder Mifflin's 1-800 number. He'll talk to Copilot first to provide some self-service help, and then he'll escalate to a live agent.
Hello, and thank you for calling Dunder Mifflin. Give me a moment to look up your details using your phone number. I see you're calling from Lackawanna County. Is this Christian Geisler? Welcome back.
Yes.
How can I assist you? To hear this menu, press the pound key.
I'm looking for the status of my order for the courthouse. It was 50 cases of premium legal bond.
Got it. One moment while I check the warehouse. I see order number DM-9982 is currently on the truck. Our driver, Billy, is approximately 10 minutes away from your location. Would you like me to text you a tracking link?
No.
How else can I assist you?
I need to know if you have the blue cardstock in stock. I need 10 more reams by tomorrow.
Got it. One moment while I check the Scranton inventory. It looks like we are currently out of Electric City Blue cardstock in our local branch. However, I see the Albany branch has it in stock. Would you like to speak with an account executive to arrange a rush transfer?
Yes, please. I need to make sure the price stays the same.
I'll get Jim Halpert on the line for you. I'm sending him your order history and the stock levels in Albany so you don't have to repeat yourself. I am transferring you to a representative. Please hold.
So you heard Christian dial in. He was greeted by the Copilot agent. You heard some typing. That was Copilot dipping into CRM, trying to find a matching contact from his mobile phone number, and it greeted him. It said, "Welcome back, Christian." Then he asked about some inventory or an order status. Again, you heard some typing. It dipped into the ERP and returned back some order information. So that was all powered by Copilot Studio, providing that IVR, that self-service. At the end, it escalated him to a live agent, and you heard some hold music. Then the agent gets a notification like this. They click accept, and then they have a very similar experience for chat, but now for phone. And instead of a chat box down here, they have call controls like mute, unhold, but all the Copilot features, the case creation, the intent agent, and they have all their CRM data at a glance. So that was inbound chat in voice. Now let's look at proactive engagement, which is outbound SMS and phone calls. So we're going to focus in on the outbound phone calls today, but proactive engagement essentially allows you to reach out to customers proactively with the appropriate channel like voice or SMS or email, and it allows for AI channel optimization, and you can personalize these experiences. So essentially, if you want to think of like robocalls, right, you want to outbound call a bunch of people to like confirm an appointment, for example. That's a possibility. So there's a couple of different modes. You can either have a AI-led first experience where a Copilot bot calls the customer, asks them some questions, confirms some information, and then they could escalate to a live agent if needed. Or you could seed an outbound phone call for an agent so that an agent actually has to place that outbound call. So let's go ahead and see kind of what this looks like. So if I pull up a flow, in the simplest sense, this is triggered by an action somewhere. So let's take, for example, we're an HVAC company servicing air conditioners. We want to have an automated phone call calling the customer, confirming their appointment. So a field service work order gets scheduled, something happens in the database, it then calls this proactive voice delivery where it passes in some information and calls the customer. So let's go ahead and test this. I'm going to trigger this flow. And then you're going to see it's going to call me, and I'll answer it, and you'll be able to hear the Copilot dial, the AI-led outbound call. So here's that inbound call. I'll go ahead and accept it.
Hi, this is an automated message from Contoso Repair. I am calling to remind you of your upcoming appointment. You are scheduled for HVAC tune-up on Wednesday, May 20th at 10 a.m. Does this still work for you?
Yes.
Thank you for confirming. We will see you at 10 a.m. on Wednesday, May 20th. Thank you for being a valued customer. Goodbye.
So that was one of the ways. It's called Copilot Dio. It's AI-led. So the first thing the customer hears is the Copilot agent. And then if they need to get escalated, like if I said that time didn't work for me, I could be escalated to a live agent inside of Dynamics Customer Service or Contact Center. The second way that I'll show is if I want to initiate a human-led outbound call. So let me go ahead and trigger this. So when you want a human to reach out to a person, you want it to go to the next available agent, you use what's called preview or proactive dial. So we're going to see now, before the call is placed, an outbound call notification come into the customer service workspace. So here's now an outbound call, and when I click start, it's going to place that outbound call. So it's dialing. And now here's that incoming call to the customer that was proactively dialed outbound by proactive engagement. And again, the customer has all of the details, or the agent has all the details. They have the call controls, the call's being recorded and transcribed, and they can confirm the appointment, reschedule the appointment, or whatever that outbound call was meant for. Another channel that can be connected to Dynamics Contact Center is SMS. This allows customers to provide information and ask questions like, where's my order? What's my balance? And they can get self-service help from a Copilot Studio agent or bot, or they can escalate to a live customer service rep inside of Dynamics. Let me pull up my phone here, and I'll show you an example of, we have this 1-800 number connected to Dynamics. I'll go ahead and message in hello. This triggers a Copilot Studio bot to join the conversation, and it's going to greet the customer. It even welcomes them back if they're a known customer by searching for their phone number inside of the CRM. Hi, thanks for contacting Contoso. Welcome back, Dave. And again, because this Copilot agent is connected to things like our knowledge base, whether it's SharePoint or Dynamics or Salesforce or ServiceNow, I can ask it questions like, how do I fix power issues with the Gizmo 3000? And so now it's identifying the intent, querying the knowledge base for an answer, and it's going to give a summarized response back over SMS. So here it's letting me know to check the power outlet, press the power button, or I can even get warranty repair. I'll go ahead and say, I am upset, period. Can I talk to an agent? And now this is going to escalate me inside of Dynamics 365 for a similar experience we showed before with chat and phone. So if I flip back up and launch Dynamics 365, we see that I now have an SMS request from Dave. I'll go ahead and accept this. And again, we kind of get this screen pop functionality where you saw this before, right? We have the conversation here on the left. The conversation is slightly negative. We can see that it automatically linked this conversation to Dave. The case was automatically created. Our SLA timers went on. And I can go ahead and say something if I get my phone back up here. I can even use a quick reply to say, you're chatting with Chad, how can I help you? And if I get my phone up, you see that the agent joined the conversation, and here's that agent's message. So very similarly, just like chat, just like inbound phone, you can do cool things with SMS as well. Let's get back to the PowerPoint. Now next, we can also have email. So here is an inbound email. Customer has an issue. They're in their personal Gmail or Outlook, right? We have had the Gizmo 3000 for a year, and recently we're having power issues. So they email in at support@kintoso.com. And I'll show you real quick, as an agent, I can be working on some other records, like a couple of cases. And I'll show you real quick this auto record creation. So this rule is monitoring this support shared mailbox, and it gets triggered when a new email hits the queue, and it can automatically create cases based on those emails. And there's some AI routing and categorization that happens. So now as an agent, I get notified that a new case created from email has entered into the queue and been assigned to me. So I can go ahead and accept that, and now I can see the email and the case are in my inbox. I'm ready to work on them. I can open up the case, and it kind of has my SLAs going. It's auto been filled out, the title, the subject, and there's the emails, right? So here was the email from the customer that says they're having power issues. There was our auto response, right? Dear customer, we got your email. Here's your case number. And now right from Dynamics, I can reply to this email. So I don't need to monitor or go to the shared mailbox anymore. Everything happens from within Dynamics. So I'll go ahead and I'll make this bigger. Again, this is coming from the support queue. Here's the email. Now I can use Copilot to resolve the customer's problem. So here, Copilot's scanning the thread, drafting an email, and it's even grounding this response based on knowledge sources. So it referenced this knowledge article inside of Dynamics for troubleshooting the Gizmo 3000, and it grounded its answer on that. So if we flip back to the email, you can see it used that knowledge article. I could adjust it, make it shorter, adjust the tone. This looks good. I'll go ahead and send that email directly from Dynamics, clear out my inbox, and I can go back to working on other records, other tasks, other cases, in the meantime waiting for that customer to respond. Now flipping back over as the customer, we'll wait for that support rep response to hit the customer's mailbox. Here's the response back. Now I can go ahead as the customer, I'll reply back and I'll say something like, after following the steps, that did not resolve the issue. What else can I do? And again, back as the agent, I'm working on some other cases. When that email comes back in, it doesn't create a new case. it gets associated to the already open active case from that customer. So again, still waiting for that email to come in and be assigned to me. It could be assigned to the same rep. It could be assigned to a different rep. Here's that email. It hit the agent's mailbox. The agent can go ahead and open that email now. That email is automatically associated to that open case, right? We can see at the bottom that it's regarding that case that was created earlier. And again, you can go back and forth with the customer without having to access the shared mailbox. Your agents can manage cases and communications inside of Dynamics, right? I can say something like, thanks for the information. Can you tell me the software and firmware version? And again, it now drafts a nice email using the right corporate tone. And so you can go back and forth with your customers emailing directly inside of Dynamics and have Copilot assistance. Again, that email was related to the case. If I pop back up the case, I'll also just show, right, the case summary is getting updated as those activities and information changes on the case. Great for a manager to quickly see what's happened, as well as the timeline summary, right? There's been a couple of emails that have happened, so the Copilot highlights all the recent activities on the timeline. Now let's take a look at analytics. So out of the box, there's a bunch of embedded Power BI reports that come out of the box. And all of this data is inside of Dataverse, so you can build your own Power BI reports. So the first one is the ongoing conversation view. This is primarily used by supervisors. And here you can have some filters at the top by time frame, by channel, by queue. And this shows in the last 24 hours, right? These are all the ongoing conversations that are happening right now in the system. Their status, some are active, some are waiting, who the agent is, what queue it's in. Some are over the live chat channel, some are over phone, some are over SMS. You can see the wait time, the active time, the sentiment. So this kind of gives you the real-time look into all the different conversations ongoing across all the different channels, across all the different agents, across all the different queues. And you can even click and dive into a conversation to kind of watch it in real time. The next is the conversation kind of overview dashboard, where in the last 24 hours, we had 4,500 conversations. 35 of them are active in the queue. The longest wait time was an hour. It took us at an average of 14 minutes to answer each conversation. Abandon rate, average handle time. Are we meeting our service level? What's the busiest times? What's the busiest channels? What's the busiest queues? What agents are available, right? Green, we have 123 agents that are ready to take a call and 256 that are currently on a call or busy, with 24 appearing away. You can also get this specifically over voice channel, right? So over the voice, we have people in the queue, the average wait time. So you can kind of differentiate between your different channels. If you're using cases and case management in the last 30 days, we had 402 open, 230 are active. We resolved 172, 13% got escalated. Our average customer satisfaction is 4 out of 5. We can see the channels and the subjects and the priority and the case volume trend and our CSAT across those. So again, you get insights into not only the conversations, but also the case volume and drivers. This is kind of a supervisor view for all the agents, right? So you can see agents online, offline, or those that are actively on a call. You can see the agent's name, their status, how long they've been in that status. So Serena's been away for 14 minutes. Where did she go? Did she go to the bathroom? Is she on lunch? Maybe I want to ping her and ask her if everything's okay. And then you can see, let's just look at Kiana. She's on 2 active conversations. She's closed 2 in the last 24 hours. Her average handle time, how many conversations she's rejected. And if we drill into Kiana, we can see some of her details, like what skills she has, what some of the conversations are. And you can even drill into these conversations and re-listen to the phone call, read the chat transcript. And again, these skills are used for routing. So maybe conversations or emails dealing with refunds will get routed to Kiana because she has a high proficiency versus electrical, which may get routed to another user. So there's tons of analytics that come out of the box, and then you can extend this using Power BI. So why Microsoft for an AI-led service transformation? Let's first look at the agent experience and how we can empower agents to deliver exceptional service. Agents get a unified desktop, right? You saw they work in Dynamics, they get the screen pop, they see all the customer information, they see all the transcripts, the sentiment, they have Copilot assistants. There's intelligent routing where whether it's by sentiment, by language, by skill set, we can route the conversations to the next available agent. There's reduced after-call work, right? Copilot automatically creates cases and updates case notes based on the conversation context during wrap-up. True omni-channel, so we showed voice, we showed chat, we showed email, we showed SMS, and there's even a custom channel framework where you can bring something if Microsoft doesn't provide a connector for it. And you get those agent well-being signals where if somebody's having a bunch of negative sentiment conversations, supervisors have the ability to view that and take proactive engagement and coaching. Now for the supervisors and managers, how can we provide real-time visibility to coach staff and improve morale? Live queue dashboard, so supervisors can see all the live queues and how many conversations are there, what channels, what agents, the sentiment. As they go to re-listen to a phone call or re-look at a chat, they don't need to read the entire conversation. They get an AI summary of it. They can provide proactive coaching alerts. There's a module that I didn't cover in this session over workforce management and forecasting. So shifts and skills and bidding and swapping shifts and forecasting workload and workforce based on historical patterns. There's a bunch of out-of-the-box reports, and you can create custom reports, and customer satisfaction survey is built into the tool, allowing coaches to correlate agents and conversation and linking satisfaction scores. Executives, how can they measure ROI across cost, quality, and growth? So executives get a lower cost per interaction, right? Typically, we're seeing AI deflection and faster resolution, reduce handle time, which can cut cost per contact by 25 to 30%. A higher first contact resolution by routing the conversations to the right people that have AI assistance can increase your first contact resolution metrics. Integrated customer service, improved first contact resolution, improved customer satisfaction and net promoter scores, right? By giving tools, the right tools, AI-powered tools to agents, we can retain more agents and lower the frustration levels. You can easily scale without headcount growth, right? Doing more with less. People have AI knowledge base answers. People can take multiple chats at a time. They can work on multiple email cases at a time. And there's broad ready executive reporting that can be extended with Power BI. So again, just some metrics around what we're seeing and Forrester and Microsoft are seeing, right? Customers expect more, but so 25% of brands saw a drop in customer experience. Service reps burn out, 37% estimated turnover rate for customer service reps, and service leaders face blind spots and reactive decision making. 87% of orgs struggle with disconnected data. They use multiple data sets, multiple different systems, even for different channels. And so kind of what does the Dynamics, it's a unified composable platform with AI built in. So your customers can raise their hand across a myriad of channels. We showed live chat, we showed email, we showed SMS, we showed voice. You can provide self-service via Copilot Studio agents over the phone, over chat, even doing proactive outbound. You can route those calls based on sentiment, based on intent, based on skills, based on, agent availability. Your customer service reps have a bunch of tools and autonomous agents like the case agent, the intent agent. They've got the unified desktop. They've got the customer 360, not only the data in your CRM, but bringing in other data sets via integration, via embedded Power Apps, via Power BI. And if you can't resolve the call over the phone or over chat, and you need to dispatch a technician or a truck out to the customer site, that's where you can convert a case to a work order and manage that process through Dynamics 365 Field Service. And again, that AI-powered learning loop. Your customer reaches out, the intent agent identifies the intent, walks the customer service rep through troubleshooting. The case management agent creates a case automatically, updates the case, follows up with the case. There's a knowledge management agent, which can look at all the historical conversations and draft knowledge articles for new issues that come up so that the next time they come up, there's a knowledge article and some self-service capabilities. The fourth agent that's not on here is the quality evaluation agent. So this is actually where you can create a scorecard or a rubric of how you want your agents to handle certain cases, the things you want them to do, and it can score and evaluate those conversations, those agents against a rubric, so you can have some actual numbers and metrics to see how your agents are doing in the field. Again, those different channels, these are the ones that Microsoft supports out of the box. Again, we showed email, SMS, phone, and web chat. And of course, you can bring your own custom channels via the custom integration framework. Dynamics 365 is powered by Microsoft Teams or Azure Communication Services. So if you want to use Microsoft's telephony, you can do that. If you want to bring your own carrier, whether it's Five9, Genesys, Cisco, you can integrate those third-party phone providers into Dynamics and get the functionality that you saw today. What's the difference between customer service and contact center? Essentially, the customer service premium SKU has case management. So if you're wanting your agents to work on cases, you want that to be Dynamics, you want all the AI-powered channel capabilities that you saw today, you're going to need the customer service premium SKU. Again, the customer service SKU has case management. If you don't deal with cases, or you deal with cases in another system like Salesforce or ServiceNow, you can get the contact center SKU. That essentially does not have any case management functionality in it and expects you to either not do cases or do cases inside of another CRM or ticketing tool like Salesforce or ServiceNow. It can be embedded in any third-party application. So as an example, if you buy the customer service, right, you can essentially see there's the ability to create cases and relate cases to conversations. If you just have the contact center solution, it looks identical, but the case features are disabled or hidden. And of course, if you go the contact center route and you want to embed this experience inside of something like Salesforce or inside of ServiceNow, where all your customer information lives, where you manage your cases, you can also have a lot of the features you saw today, but not fully use Dynamics and use a third-party CRM like Salesforce or ServiceNow. And again, just showing, we know a lot of our Salesforce customers are upset that Salesforce got rid of the quoting features. So there is like an integration with Explogix as an example to where you can integrate the quoting and CPQ experience for these agents if they're doing customer service like ordering, where you can embed some of this CPQ functionality inside of Copilot. And we've partnered with Explogix to bring that for life. So the core setup. Again, inside, once you install these solutions, they live in Dataverse. You'll have two main apps. First is the Admin Center. This is where you'll do all of your configuration. And next is the Customer Service Workspace. This is where your agents will live and accept inbound calls and chats. So again, the Customer Service Workspace is for your agents. The Admin Center is for your admins to set up the contact center and define things like work streams and queues and skills and connect your different phone numbers and chats and SMS providers. This is what the admin center looks like. Again, you've got kind of your site map of, do you want to set up agents? Do you want to set up queues? Do you want to set up your routing rules, your workspaces, your knowledge base? This is an example of enabling channels, right? So voice, chat, SMS, and Teams have been turned on. You set up your work streams for your different channels that kind of governs all the things like phone numbers, and do you want to automatically record or transcribe the calls? This is what a work stream looks like. And then the workspace is for the agents, right? This is where they work on cases, they work on their activities, they can accept inbound chats and phone calls. They have kind of the screen pop with the conversation on the left and the CRM data in the middle. There is also built-in surveys. So this is an example of a survey on the chat to where, after the agent leaves the conversation, we appreciate your business. Did we resolve your issue? Yes, during my first contact. Yes, during multiple contacts. How would you rate the overall? I gave it a 4. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us? And then all of this data gets then stored back inside of Dynamics. So as an example, these conversations are stored inside of Dynamics. So here is that entire chat transcript of the chat that gets preserved. It can be mined. There's that post-conversation survey that's related to the customer, related to the conversation, related to the agent. Instead of reading this whole transcript, I can just click on the summary. This is what a phone call looks like. I can replay the phone call. I can go look at the transcript. There's also SLAs is a cool feature, right? So if we need to respond by 1 hour, we want to resolve this within 8 hours. If it's not resolved, we want to escalate it within 12 hours. So you can have these SLAs that kind of think of it as a timer. As it gets closer to non-compliance, they start blinking yellow and blinking red. Notifications in the app, emails, Teams messages can be going off. And then, they become non-compliant and may trigger some automation. So thank you very much for listening. You can download the presentation here if it's something you want to get access to, the PDF and the slides. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. If you have any additional questions or want to get a tailored demo of Dynamics 365 Contact Center or customer service, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Thanks for tuning into this video. Make sure you like and subscribe on the channel, and we'll catch you on the next one.